With the answer, we fight and what we can do.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things you missed in Moon Knight Episode 3.
You have any good ideas?
I have a bad one.
For this list, we're looking at the best Easter eggs and references in the latest episode of the lunar-themed show. If you haven't caught up on the series and other Marvel projects up to this point, beware of spoilers ahead. What was your favorite scene in this week's episode? And why was it the moon-shaped cape? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, a subtle Black Panther nod.
Can't believe it. Oh my days, we're inside. We're inside the Great Pyramid of Giza.
When Mark and Steven first enter the Great Pyramid of Giza, they're understandably struck with awe at the scenery and grandeur of the historic landmark. While taking a look around, they briefly glance at a couple of feline statues. The unnamed tributes look an awful lot like the Egyptian god Bast. This panther goddess notably plays a significant role in Wakanda's culture and history.
The tribes lived in constant war with each other until a warrior shaman received a vision from the panther goddess Bast, who led him to the heart-shaped herb.
While she showed the first Black Panther how to become more powerful in the MCU, the comics saw her choose an avatar to fight for her. Having Bast's statue is a great way to subtly link the mythologies around Black Panther and Moon Knight. Maybe the connection will lead Mark to travel to Wakanda in the future.
Where are we going?
Where the hell do you think?
Number 9. The Forger shares her name with an obscure Marvel character. In the third episode's opening scene, Layla gets a less than official passport from a forger referred to as Ligaro.
I can't believe he let you teach you how to do all of this.
The man indulged you. You think his dig sites were any place for a child?
This new character just so happens to share a name with the Marvel hero known as Dynaman. In the comics, he was first seen using superpowers like increased strength in an ancient yet advanced society, but when it was destroyed, Ligaro flew on over to Egypt and fought villains. He'd go on to live a long life and popped up during historical events throughout the centuries. So is this forger secretly a gender-swapped version of the hero Dynaman? Or was her name just an homage to an obscure character? We'll just have to wait and see if the forger throws on Dynaman's colorful outfit.
Exhuming the pain of the past. Easy to get stuck. Fixate on what's hurt us.
Number 8. Egyptian gods and Eternals had similar policies. Mark and Khonshu's desperate meeting with the other gods goes pretty poorly. The moon deity insists his conspicuous actions are for humanity's own good. However, the other gods claim he's breaking an agreement they made because they said they wouldn't directly influence events.
The avatars that remain here are simply meant to observe. We decided long ago we did not wish to meddle in the affairs of man.
Their indirect approach feels a lot like the mantra of the Eternals. During their film, the powerful godlike beings are told not to jump into human events unless very specific circumstances are met.
Why didn't you guys help fight Thanos? Or any war, or all the other terrible things throughout history?
We were instructed not to interfere in any human conflicts unless deviants are involved.
But later on, the Eternals learned they were asked not to interfere so a powerful being that would destroy Earth could emerge. If the gods of the Ennead aren't careful, their choice not to act could lead to the terrifying Ammit returning and threatening Earth.
This is about how dangerous he is, if you would just listen for a second.
He has committed no offense. This matter is concluded.
Number 7. Madripoor's growing MCU presence. While Layla's catching up with the fearsome fighter Beck, it's casually revealed that she's been to a familiar city.
Right this way. Thank you. He's looking forward to seeing you. After Madripoor, I'm sure you two will have a lot to talk about.
The shady Madripoor was first seen in the MCU during the events of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Since Sharon had an impressive collection of dubiously acquired artwork, we imagine that Layla would have huge success selling already stolen items there.
I don't steal. They've already been stolen. That's what people forget.
While the Moon Knight ally and Sam Wilson's crew both directly mentioned Madripoor, Shang-Chi included a sneaky nod to the nation by showing its flag during a fight scene. Based on the frequency of times Madripoor has been mentioned lately, we would not be surprised if it's one of the settings for a big scene in an upcoming Marvel film.
That is why we're going to Madripoor.
What's up with Madripoor? You guys talk about it like it's Skull Island.
It's an island nation in the Indonesian archipelago.
Number 6. Hathor and Khonshu's close connection. The only person that seems to show Mark true kindness during the Ennead meeting is the goddess Hathor's avatar Yatsil.
I'm Yatsil, avatar of Hathor.
Okay.
Goddess of music and love.
She seems genuinely concerned about Mark's well-being and goes out of her way to help him. When you look at Egyptian mythology, Yatsil's gentle personality makes more sense. Not only is Hathor a maternal figure in many myths, but she also has a very close relationship to Khonshu in many stories. The two almost seem to have a flirty connection on the show.
She says it was not so long ago Khonshu enjoyed Hathor's melodies.
Well, as far as I know, the only melody Khonshu enjoys is the sound of pain.
But no matter what the true nature of their relationship is, Khonshu's strong and historic bond to Hathor may give Moon Knight the edge he needs to get ahead of his enemies.
Find Senfu's sarcophagus and you'll find your tomb.
Okay, how am I supposed to do that?
Number 5. Mark's superpowers are rooted in Khonshu's mythology.
Oh, doesn't sound so bad to me.
See how you fare against Harrow without the protection of my healing armor.
Although we knew the suit could help Mark endure serious injuries, we saw how far that protection truly went when he walked off after being impaled several times. This sharp and darkly funny scene was a great way to nod to Khonshu's mythological reputation as a great healer. Additionally, he was known for being a deity of time, fertility, and the moon, of course. The awe-inspiring scene where Khonshu and Steven essentially rewind the sky showed off Khonshu's temporal abilities.
Do what I do.
And he's clearly shown a mastery of the moon as well. Honestly, we're okay if we leave Khonshu's fertility aspect off-screen and just focus on his other incredibly cool associations.
So unless we know exactly what the sky looked like on that date, we're buggered.
I remember that night. I remember every night.
Number 4. The premiere heavily foreshadowed this episode's events. Moon Knight's trip to the Pyramid of Giza was sneakily hinted at way back in episode 1. The very first thing Steven does when he enters the museum is talk to a girl about the landmark.
Will you look at that? Looks like someone mistook the Great Pyramid of Giza for a rubbish dump.
However, the bigger foreshadowing piece to episode 3 revolves around a poster mishap. Steven is quick to point out to the boss that there are only 7 out of 9 members of the Ennead on the advertising.
But there's been a major blunder because they've got 7 gods here and the Ennead has 9.
I fired 2 of them for being late.
When he attends a real-life meeting of the gods, he stands before 5 avatars. The presence of Mark and Amit's avatar Arthur make for a total of 7 people at the Ennead meetup. At this point, we have to wonder what other future story beats could be hiding in the premiere.
And did it suck for you? Getting rejected from the field of reeds?
Well, that don't make sense, because I'm not dead, am I?
Number 3. Mark likely saw Layla's father die. After Arthur Harrow confronts the heroes, he implies that Mark may know why Layla's father died.
You keep thinking that distance will prevent the wounds from your father's murder from reopening, but something stands in your way. Your husband doesn't tell you the truth.
Although Khonshu's avatar denies knowing anything, his comic origins paint him as guilty. Mark's adventures typically start when one of his mercenary missions goes south. When his allies brutally attack civilians, an archaeologist tries to stop the carnage by taking out the leader, Bushman. But Mark stops the assassination attempt. Bushman immediately retaliates by fatally wounding the archaeologist.
And Mark, you don't tell her because you know that if you do, she'll see you exactly as you see yourself, as unworthy of love.
Since this innocent man was the father to Mark's love interest Marlene in the comics, it'd make sense if Layla's dad suffered the exact same fate as this character. It may be revealed that the show's Mark made a choice that led to his father-in-law's death.
So it's not true?
No, it's not true. Of course not. No, he's just trying to divide us. Don't let him get in your head.
Number 2. Gaspard Ulliel played a potential supervillain. Layla's and Mark's mission to stop Harrow leads them to Gaspard Ulliel's rich and dangerous Anton.
I hope you understand this is more than a collection to me. Preserving history is a responsibility I take very seriously.
Although he seems like a gentleman on the surface, he can drop that mask on a dime and become a huge threat to the main heroes.
Do you really think I'm an idiot? Get on your knees.
Anton, stop!
Get on your knees!
Not only did Anton's comic counterpart despise Moon Knight, but he was also a notorious thief nicknamed Midnight Man. Why? Because that's the time he liked to do all his crimes, of course. The lunar hero beat this timely foe multiple times throughout their long rivalry. Unfortunately, if Midnight Man is brought back in the future, they'll have to recast the role due to Gaspard Ulliel's tragic passing. The audience and the show won't forget his fantastic performance. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Jake Lockley may have finally surfaced. Initially, Mark thought he was sharing his body with Steven and Khonshu. However, the 3rd episode made it clear that another brutal party is taking over.
Oh, God. Steven, what did you do? I swear it wasn't me. Then who was it?
All the evidence points to this personality being Jake Lockley. This traditional side of Mark Spector is typically a cab driver who wears hats and doesn't mind violence. During the 3rd episode, it briefly appears like Mark is driving a cab when he suddenly wakes up. And the first time we see him wear a hat, he sounds more aggressive than usual.
Right guy, right place, but you're not Egyptian.
Hey, look, what the hell are you doing here? You shouldn't be here.
These small details may be building to Jake's big reveal. If Mark thinks his body's crowded now, we can't imagine how he'll react to a brutal cab-driving personality living inside him.
What the hell's wrong with you, Steven? Me? You're the one going on a killing spree? I didn't do any of this. Me neither.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.